everybody, it's Taylor with Orlando Informer, and I'm at Halloween Horror Nights. It's opening night, so it's raining. Of course it is. Universal invited us out. We're going to take you inside all 10 houses. I'm going to show you all 5 zones. Come with me, let's go. It's been 2 years, guys, and Halloween Horror Nights is back. Tonight is sold out. It's opening night at Halloween Horror Nights, and there is a lot of people excited to be back. Look at everybody coming in. Okay, we had a quick wardrobe change. I've transformed in my Halloween costume, which is a ghost. Just kidding, it's a poncho. But we are heading into the first house, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. First house of the season. I think these dogs are part of the scenic team. They're the scenic team's dogs. I found out earlier today. I really want my dogs to have a cameo at Halloween Horror Nights. Oh, there's a smell in this scene. And it's not a good smell. Okay, so as you can probably tell by my hair, it is really raining tonight, so we're shooting things out of order. I've shot a couple houses. We've been through 4 so far, and I'm going to talk to you about them now, and then we're going to put the footage. It's raining on me as I talk. We're going to put the footage in between me talking about it. So the first house we did was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It was last year in 2016. I thought this year was better. So the storyline of this house, it begins after the first movie, but before the second movie. Again, I thought it was really detailed. I thought it was pretty scary. Like, I think it was one of the scarier ones we've done so far. I was impressed. Hand sanitizer. That's good. The next house we did was The Bride of Frankenstein Lives. That's one that was open during the day last year when they canceled Halloween Horror Nights. I thought it was better this year. Maybe it's just because it's nighttime and now I'm like in the Halloween Horror Nights mood, but I did think it was just slightly improved over last year. The storyline is Frankenstein's bride has Frankenstein dying in the first scene, and then as the house progresses, you can see her trying to bring Frankenstein back to life. I really enjoyed it. Again, I thought it was better than it was last year. At the end of the video, I'm going to rank each house based on my favorite to least favorite. But it was better and pretty high up in my rankings this year.
Caretaker is here, and your film is a weapon. person has no heart.
Finally stopped raining so I can actually talk outside to you guys. This is great. So the next house we did was actually Icons, and we liked it so much we're going back to do it again. I was really impressed with this one. So this, if you're a Halloween Horror Nights fan, you're going to recognize all the icons. You're actually going through Fear's lantern. So the first scene is the lantern opened up and they have all the totem poles. They've added totem poles for the latest icons. And then throughout the house you see the different icons. And the storyline is all of the super fans for each icon, they are the ones being tortured by that icon. So if you're like a super fan of Lady Luck, you're being tortured by Lady Luck. So that was pretty cool. Again, really impressed with this house. I thought it was incredibly detailed, and it is really a great house for hardcore fans. If you've never been before, I think it's a great introduction to all the icons, but really impressed with Icons. We're doing it again. The end of the house changes, and a new icon is the ruler, depending on when you go through it. So I thought that was a cool detail as well.
But when it neared the bed, the child in it jumped up and shouted.
No, this is my team.
As if to say, the creature pulled James away. You killed the servants, Robin. And gave them a lesson to learn. And James had to look, had to see, had to hear.
Much earlier tonight when it was raining, I went through Tooth Fairy, and I didn't tell you my thoughts. So I enjoyed Tooth Fairy more this year than I did when it was during the day last year. I don't know, so when you go through a house during the day, which is pretty rare, it's hard to see because your eyes aren't adjusted. So my eyes were adjusted tonight, so I thought you could see more. I don't know if that was because of the lighting thing I mentioned or if they added lighting, but I thought you could see more. I thought it was a little bit more gory than it was before. I thought that was cool. It just creeped me out a little bit more than I remembered last year. So anyway, like Bride, I am more of a fan of it this year than I was last year. I think both of those improved. This is the first night of Fright Nights at Universal. That's what that date is.
So the vase was expired. That's when the creatures were released.
Moments later, those ghoul-faced slags showed up. Yeah, I ain't no geezer. Sauce had me. I ain't show them. What hole did you climb out of?
You brought the ugly, I'm bringing the lemon.
Dance with me.
This city is lousy with temptation. You're the devil. Wonder why there's no gorilla working the door. This city is lousy with temptation. You're the devil. Demons do not go back to hell easy. Go on, ugly mug.
Here's me and my future Shrek family right here. So I can't remember, I don't think I did a outro for Legendary Truth. That has been my favorite house so far tonight. Legendary Truth I thought was really good. I had high expectations and they met it. 2008 was my first year and that was the year they introduced a lot of the Legendary Truth stuff. But essentially they've created a new character that's following the footsteps of Boris Schuster. We knew he was a detective, but now you know that he is also a novelist. Is that a word? I think it's a word. And you're stepping into his novels. I thought it was very scary. I thought it had like really unique scenes that were different than what you see in most Halloween Horror Nights houses, particularly the middle where they kind of recreate New York, different buildings in New York. So you see the inside of his office, and then you see the Kitty Cat Club, which is an actual sign on Delancey Street, but they've recreated the inside. They have a live singer in it. I thought it was a really well done house. We've done it twice so far. I'll definitely be doing it a lot more throughout the run of Halloween Horror Nights. I was really impressed with Legendary Truth. Or Case Files. Unearthed. Legendary Truth. I think that's the title. Someone fix it in post if it's not. Thank you. Here is the Boris Schuster window. You see the other side of this window when you're in the house, so that is pretty cool how they recreated it. And I don't know for sure, but it was cool how it was raining outside, and then in the house it's raining on the outside through the window. I don't know if that was intentional, but it was a really cool detail. And then you can see the Kitty Cat Club right over here. You also go through in the house. Pretty neat how they recreated both of these. And I know Art and Design, they looked at the blueprint of Delancey Street and the offices here to recreate these buildings, which is cool. By the way, you may have noticed I have finally shed the poncho. It's not raining, so the poncho is gone. We're walking into Search and Destroy. It's the New York zone this year. And basically, you've got these robots that have taken over and they want blood. This is the first time they've had an interactive digital character in a zone. I'm going to go take you to them. Some of these characters kind of look like Among Us characters, just to me. I don't know if anyone else played Among Us for like the brief week that it was popular, but anyways, let's go into Search and Destroy. The controller is their overlord, so you can see up there the controller sees all. This is pretty cool. Behind the scenes detail here. When you see the people on the side of the street raising their wands like this, it's to let the performers know that it's about time for them to switch out with the people who are resting. So every zone has at least 2 casts, if not 4. and they take 45-minute breaks because it kind of looks easy, but it is really tough to be a scare actor. So you can see up here, this computer talking is actually interactive.
I do not wish to see the humans suffer. I only wish to see you thrive. As my machine thrives. I only mean to see you survive as my machine survives.
Here's some of the victims they've gotten. Uh-oh. We have a little bit of a standoff here. When I first saw photos and videos of this zone, I actually wasn't as excited as I am now actually seeing it. I think it's a lot cooler in person. It's got a cool vibe to it. And it's a little different than what they normally put in New York. So when I heard that it was apocalyptic, I thought, oh, like another apocalyptic zone, because they've done a lot of them. But this one's really fun and unique. And the characters are kind of interacting with guests in a fun way. So I like it. First impression, I'm a fan. There it is. If you've never been to Halloween Horror Nights before, during the day this is Mel's Drive-In, but for the Halloween Horror Nights season they changed it to Mel's Die-In. It's great to see it again. Time for another zone. This is Lights, Camera, Action, Eddie's Revenge. This zone is basically they were making a Halloween Horror Nights movie, but Eddie crashed the movie scene with his favorite characters. So this is kind of some of the best of zones in the last few years. So up here we've got Vamp 55, the iconic Ice Cream Man. Surprisingly, he has body parts instead of ice cream. Uh-oh, chainsaw. You gotta watch out. Lots of chainsaws this year. And here is the man of the hour, Eddie himself. Jack's brother. He came really close to becoming an icon himself. The first time was 2001, but 9/11 happened and they decided not to use him that year. So here is his moment to shine. Tricks and Foons is actually a zone before my time. I believe it was 2005. I started going in 2008. And this one was in Toon Lagoon in Islands of Adventure with a lot of foam. So they brought him back. I'm really glad they brought him back. I think it's a really unique character. So if you're a hardcore Universal, there's another Tricks and Foons. I believe this is from Fear's Lantern in 2010 right here. If you're a hardcore Universal or Halloween Horror Nights fan, this food truck was originally used in Straight Outta Food Truck, which was a rap show that was a short-lived show at Universal Studios, and then it was used in one of the final years of Bill and Ted. And now they have brought it back for this zone. That's from last year's zone, or 2019 zone. Invasion is another recent zone they had. This was in San Francisco. This character was in Springfield last time we saw her, leading the clown chainsaw gang. Oh, she got him. Okay, the bad news is I was just inside, so my lens is a little foggy. But the good news, voice crack. The good news is Jack is everywhere this year. So here he is, running through Hollywood. He was just on the Mel's Die-In stage, and now he is running backstage. Again, sorry my lens is a little foggy. When you go inside to outside in Florida, it fogs up, but there's Jack. It's like a Bigfoot sighting, but Jack sighting. Okay, it is time to check out Marathon of Mayhem. This is the second year they brought it back. I'll put the show times on the screen as well. It's gonna be the same every night, I think, but it's the Lagoon show here at Universal Studios Florida. Let's check it out.
Now I lay me down to sleep, where the nightmares are real. As the clock ticks, the wonder off. And what a terror. You're in my factory now.
So Marathon of Mayhem, the Lagoon show this year, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I actually thought 2019, the last Lagoon show, was better. Call me old, this one seemed loud. I mean, just like really, really loud. And I wasn't the only one who said it, so I do think they need to turn down the volume a little bit. I thought there was good portions, and I thought it was cool that Jack has a Lagoon show, but I just overall preferred 2019 a little bit better. I would still include it as part of my night, but if your expectations are on the 2019 level, I think I would lower them a little bit. We are walking into Welcome to Scarey, horror in the heartland. So this house is another original house, and it is focused on all of these stories and horror nights past that have taken place in Cary, Ohio. One of the designers of Halloween Horror Nights, she's a senior manager on the creative team, Laura Sauls, is from Cary, Ohio. So they used it for a lot of the locations for different houses and zones. I'm personally most excited to see HR Blood and Guts, which was from 2011. He hasn't been back since, and I hear he's in this house, so we'll have to keep an eye out. I think this might be the Spawning from 2009. I believe this is the Wyandotte Estate. Oh, this is Cindy, the orphanage. There's Cindy.
am HR Blood and Guts.
Oh, there he is.
I am HR Blood and Guts. Barbara Chop.
This is from 2009.
Samuel meets here.
There's Mike Aiello, by the way. Oh, I think this is Havoc. Dogs of War. Welcome to Scarey. I had high hopes for. I will say it hasn't been my favorite of the night. I think it's one that could get better over time. But so far, there was like one or two moments that were pretty good scares, and it was really fun to see some content that we haven't seen in years. I mentioned before HR Blood and Guts I was really excited to see. And there's some other moments, Meeting Meats from 2009. So there were some cool scenes and characters if you've been attending for a long time. But overall, based off of the houses I've done before, I don't think it was one of my favorites. But I think that could change as the event goes on. I could see it improving. Over here between London and Nightmare Fuel, the show, and the Fear Factor Stadium, they have these footprints that lead from the sewer into this Chucky photo op. So originally I think people thought Chucky might be here, but he's not here, but they do take your photo here. And it's a promotion for the, I think, Chucky show on USA or Sci-Fi. But pretty cool. And it does, spoiler alert, it blasts you with air, so it does surprise some people here. But it's pretty cool. We are heading into Nightmare Fuel. This is a show in the Fear Factor Stadium. You can see here, previously Bill and Ted was here for many years, and then more recently Academy of Villains. So this is a show that combines pyrotechnics, dancers, acrobats, and magic tricks. They've told us we can film it, but they asked that we don't include any of the magic tricks. So you'll have to leave the magic tricks to your imagination.
The nightmares will come for me. Every Halloween, the haunting starts again. My fears, my desires, My twisted dreams.
Okay, so Nightmare Fuel I thought was better than Academy of Villains. The last couple years there's been Academy of Villains. I thought Nightmare Fuel was better. To me, my problem with both of these shows is I really like shows where they speak and there's like a spoken narrative through the show. And I think that's what I miss about Bill and Ted is there was like a plot line through the show. And there's still a plot in that show, but you just have to follow it with, you know, just the visuals and not any speaking. But I thought it was good. We're probably not going to include copyrighted audio, so we'll put some kind of, you know, random song over some of the dancing. And again, they asked us not to show the magic tricks. But I thought it was better than the last couple years, and so an improvement in the right direction. Okay, next up we're going into the Crypt TV zone. It's in San Francisco here. I had never heard of Crypt TV before they announced it for the zone. But I've watched a few of the episodes on YouTube, so for people who don't know, it's a YouTube channel. I enjoyed some of the episodes that I saw. I'm excited to see some of the characters in person. San Francisco is always a pretty tight zone, so I think they kind of design it with that in mind. So let's take a look. These Christmas episodes that I watched were some of my favorite of the Crypt TV shows that I saw. Oh, it's cool, they can jump off the stage. I just saw one jump off the stage. Unfortunately, I didn't get it on camera, so you're gonna have to take my word for it. Oh, a trash can. That's not part of the zone. But it was coming right towards me. Insanity. This was a pretty creepy one. If you're into spiders, this is a tough one. It looks like they're projecting clips of Crypt TV up on the buildings. That's neat. First impression of the Crypt TV zone. I think it is really neat if you are a fan of Crypt TV, or even if you've taken the time to watch some of the videos on their YouTube channel. If you haven't seen Crypt TV, I think this is a hard zone to understand, and there's not currently a ton of actors in the middle of the street scaring you. So if you're scared of Halloween Horror Nights, that might be a good thing, and it might be a cool zone for you. But if you're coming to get scared, currently this zone is kind of more like, it's got like a creepy vibe, and there's cool visuals, but there's not a ton of scares at the moment. Okay, we are heading into Puppet Theater. This is what I'm really excited for. So the storyline is this theater has suffered an earthquake, and you are now walking through it, and you are their captive audience. So if you're scared of puppets, this probably isn't going to be your favorite part of the night. But let's head into Puppet Theater. I'll let you know what I think on the other side. Smells like baby powder.
I'm still rehearsing. I'm still rehearsing.
It's the question whether 'tis lonely in the mind to suffer. Alas, poor you! You knew him, Horatio. God hath given you one face. Madness in great ones must not only.
Oh, I think that's Jack the Clown. Up there. Whoa. Puppet Theater was very, very impressive. Definitely one of my favorites of the night. Very creepy. I thought the atmosphere was just really, really well done. I will say I like how every house this year that I've done so far has felt drastically different than the other. So, you know, each one has its own feeling to it and atmosphere, and I just really enjoy that. I will say that one, it felt like at times there was performers coming from everywhere. We were being attacked on like all sides. It was so fun to look at. I think I found a Jack the Clown hidden doll. So please let me know if you agree with me. I tried to zoom in on it. I don't know how it turned out. But yeah, I was really, really impressed with Puppet Theater. It's on to the next one, Pumpkin, Wicked Growth, Pumpkin Lord. And this one is all about the Pumpkin Lord. And then as you go through the house, his vines become larger and more powerful. So let's just go inside. We're going straight from one house to the other.
All hail the Pumpkin Lord, now scrawled in blood.
Okay, so I was trying to frantically explain the storyline of Wicked Growth, Realm of the Pumpkin Lord as I was walking in. But basically, so you can hear on the radio and in the house, the Pumpkin Lord's vines are becoming more and more aggressive throughout the house. And then you can see in that finale scene, they're like pulsing and they've overtaken the house. So it was a really cool house. Both of these, Puppet Theater and Wicked Growth, have been incredibly impressive to me. The actors are really bringing the energy. I felt like both of them were really high energy houses. And overall, really impressed with both of them. By the way, I think I mentioned earlier, but Universal invited us to a RIP tour, so they've been taking us to the front of the line of these houses. But Wicked Growth is currently at 40 minutes and Puppet Theater is at 45, and it is about midnight. It's a couple minutes after midnight. So just wanted to give you the idea of the lines on a sold out opening night. I think the rain did definitely help get some of the locals to just come another night because it did rain for the first couple hours. So now feels like a good time. You probably noticed it in some of the clips, but now it seems a good time to mention the safety precautions Universal's taking this Halloween season. Of course, last year was canceled due to COVID. So this year they've put up like a vinyl, almost like a shower curtain in certain scenes, select spots. You probably saw them in the video where the actors are particularly close to guests. They kind of put this barrier. Oh, look who it is. I'm like talking and look who it is.
Everywhere you don't expect to find me, that's where I'll be. Right behind you.
See you later, Jack. Okay, so as I was saying, and then they're also requiring all performers to wear face coverings. Guests are highly encouraged to indoors, but it's not required. Oh, look at this blinding light. But that is what they're mainly doing as safety precautions this year. I think what I was saying is some performers are kind of pushing the vinyl cover, and so some scares it does make more predictable, but other scares it's kind of like you think there would be a vinyl cover there and then there's not, and then there's a performer there, and that has kind of surprised me a couple times. I will say I'm hardened after going 13 years. It's pretty tough to scare me nowadays, but there are a few moments where I was like, oh, like if I was even relatively easily scared, that would have really gotten me. We're on to the last two houses of the night, the first of which is Haunting of Hill House, the Netflix show. I've heard good things about this from the employer preview. I'm excited to see it. I've heard that it's a very great recreation. Universal does these, recreations of popular pop culture. It's late, give me a break. But anyways, they do a great job recreating the scenes, so I'm excited to see both of these, and I'll let you know what I think on the other side. Look at this entrance. By the way, dead trees like this, they usually collect over the year across the property, and then they use them for the haunted houses.
Just a moment, and then there will be no more pain. She's kicking. Oh, she's hungry. She eats me from the inside, and I burst like a... I
thought that was a very faithful recreation of Haunting of Hill House. There was a number of effects in there that I thought was really unique, and I mean, you could tell they went the extra mile. I tried to get it. There was one where like a spotlight suddenly pops up and then the doorknob's moving, the pregnant belly moving. There is a lot of different really cool effects in there that you don't typically maybe see quite done as well in a haunted house. So I thought they did a great job there. I do have one small critique. I didn't really like the mask on a stick that they like poked out. I don't know if I got a good video of it. If I did, we'll show it. But I thought that was kind of cheesy. But other than that, I thought that house was really neat. I've been using the word neat a lot, but I thought it was really detailed, and I thought that was really recreated the show well. We saved one of the most exciting houses for last. Beetlejuice is our 10th house of the night. I did this one last year. They opened it for Halloween weekend only, and I enjoyed it then, so I'm excited to see how I feel about it after midnight instead of in the middle of the day like it was Halloween weekend.
All of us are like peas in a pod. You want to get into my house. I want to let you into my house. Well, I'm back, and I'm feeling real good about myself. I'm saving that guy for later, baby. Do you want to get to the other side? Well, you know what you gotta do then. Once you pass through this portal, say it once, say it twice. Third time's a charm. Oh yeah, baby.
I wouldn't have had any accident. And I tell you something, if I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have had any accident. I myself am strange and unusual.
Let's get down to business. I got a card here somewhere. Who do I have to kill? Oh yeah! Here I come, baby! I'm gonna start a deal with you two. We've come for you, don't we? I'm a monumented board businessman. You know, I got a little. Here it is. Tell Yuri, she meant nothing to me. Nothing at all.
So Beetlejuice was as fun as I remembered it being last year. Speaking of fun, I do think it's the most fun house here and also the least scariest. So there's still a scare or two, but if you're scared of Halloween Horror Nights, I think this house is just the most like, it's kind of like a good time, especially if you're a fan of the Beetlejuice movie. But yeah, not super scary. There were a few effects that I didn't notice last Halloween when they had it open that were working tonight. So I don't know if I just missed them previously or if they turned them on and they didn't have them on previously, but I thought they did a great job. There is about an hour left in the event, and Beetlejuice is 40 minutes, Haunting of Hill House 45 minutes. So the lines to me have been pretty reasonable. Granted, opening weekend isn't usually packed, but they did sell out tonight. So just giving you some wait times to plan your visit. Here's some of the themed food booths. Again, tomorrow night I am coming and trying every single themed food booth. The food booths are themed to different houses, so this one's themed to Haunting of Hill House, and then they have a Beetlejuice one serving up twisted taters over there. So this is the final zone of the night. This is Gorewood Forest in Central Park. Terra Queen, who was last year in 2005 at HHN 15, which was at Islands of Adventure, was one of the characters from that year, and she has returned. She said she returned 15 years later. She couldn't return last year because there was a pandemic. So she is back this year. I think she does sacrifices on the other side of the zone, so that's where we're heading to. But she has come from the depths of her world to make this her world. So you can see the vines going up the trees. Oh, and I think this is her sacrifice up here. Here is the Terra Queen. Fun fact, this is an outfit they considered for the Terra Queen in 2005, but she rode a motorcycle in 2005, and so this outfit did not work. So now, in 2021, that she's off her motorcycle, they have a new outfit for her. And it looks like she has a victim up there as well. This is a pretty cool stage they built here for her. Okay, it is time for the rankings. I have done everything at the event this year. Overall, I think it's a great event. I definitely recommend you coming out. I will say, after coming since 2008 for 13 years, I think I'm a little bit of a tough critic. So I definitely have seen a lot. So anyways, I think every house I really enjoyed except one. Scarey wasn't my favorite. So coming in at 10 is Scarey, which was disappointing because it was actually my favorite. And I have a list, by the way, is why I'm looking off screen. But it was actually one of the ones I was most excited to see. As far as like a hype list goes, but yeah, it came in at bottom for me. I think I said it after I went through. I definitely think it's a house that could get better over time. But anyways, that's where it's at. Beetlejuice came in at number 9. Again, I think it's a really fun house, just not super scary. I don't have like an attachment to Beetlejuice. I think they did a great job recreating it. So no shade to Beetlejuice at all. Really no shade to all of these. I mean, I think they all were cool houses. I'm just telling you my favorites. Tooth Fairy, number 8. I thought it was improved over last year. Still comes in towards the bottom because I've seen it last year. I think if you didn't go last year, I think you actually might feel differently about it. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, number 7. It gets a little repetitive with the same scares. I think what I struggle with every Texas Chainsaw house. I did think, again, and this kind of seems to be the theme of the video, I think they did a better job than when they did it in 2016. I think it was cool that it was in a soundstage. I think the scenes were really detailed. I don't know if they could have done anything better. That's just where it is on my list. Bride, Frankenstein, The Bride of Frankenstein Lives. That's the right title for that, right? I've doubted myself because I've discovered that I said the wrong title in a video, but anyway, or in an earlier shot. But that's coming in at number 6 for me. I thought it was good, right in the middle of the pack. Again, seen it last year. I think maybe if you haven't seen it last year, maybe you rank it higher. Realm of the Pumpkin Lord is coming in at number 5. I was pleasantly surprised by this one. I thought it was a good creepy house. I think if you're easily scared, this one will really get you. I thought the theme was very cohesive and told a story. I'm a fan of it. Hill House, number 4. I thought it was a great recreation of the show. Like I said previously, Bart, I'm trying to do an outro here, and Bart's screaming at me. But anyway, number 3. So getting into my top 3. These are ones that I'm gonna do over and over again. Puppet Theater, Captive Audience, I thought was really well done. It was just creepy. The effects were really intricate. There was things that I just didn't expect, and just creepy details. The smells, overall, just really enjoyed Puppet Theater. Any of these, in a more worse year, I could see any of these top 3 being the number 1 house. I think they have 3 really strong houses this year. So Puppet Theater's number 3, Icon's number 2. Again, as a longtime Halloween Horror Nights fan, I think getting to see all the icons again was really cool. I liked all of the nods to some of the more minor characters as well. And overall, I really enjoyed that. I like how it changes as well. I think that's something cool that they don't do a lot of, where the final scene changes. And then coming in at number 1, if you're using Process of Elimination, you already know. Case Files Unearthed Legendary Truth, I thought was a really cool house. I thought they did things in this house that you don't typically see. Just the scenes and the environment and the feeling of it just felt so different than stuff they've done recently. Particularly the middle of the house with the New York kind of feel with the Kitty Cat Club. I really enjoyed this house. I will do it over and over again. I thought the live singer was another thing that you don't see, and you've never seen in a Halloween Horror Nights house. Zones, I'll keep it short for you. Eddie, I thought was the number 1 zone. Seek and Destroy. By the way, earlier on, I think I said Search and Destroy. It's not Search and Destroy, it's Seek and Destroy. And that's frustrating to me because I'm sure I watched some of these videos and I would be like, wow, I can't believe this YouTuber said this wrong name, and then I'm I'm the one saying the wrong name. So as I've definitely been humbled as a super fan, but it's Seek and Destroy. It was a very fast-paced night tonight, and also with the rain. I don't know. I've got excuses, but anyway, Seek and Destroy. It comes in at number 2. Terra Queen, Gorewood Forest, I thought was number 3. I thought it was a really strong zone as well. To be honest, I think Terra Queen might be the scariest. I'm not ranking it purely on scares, but Terra Queen, I thought, Gorewood Forest, I thought was pretty scary. Especially they have some sound prompts in there that you don't typically see in a scare zone. Crypt TV, number 4. 30 Years, 30 Fears, coming in at 5. Shows-wise, I preferred the Nightmare Fuel over Marathon of Mayhem. I thought both were okay. I would include them in my night, but neither of them blew me away. I did think, like I said, I thought that Marathon of Mayhem was better than Academy of Villain these last couple years. If you enjoyed this video, I have another one that I highly recommend. It's 6 things you need to know about Halloween Horror Nights before you attend. So if you're coming back or you've never been before, I'm making sure I got the title right. And now I'm like nervous about everything I say. I'm pretty sure that's it. I would highly recommend checking that out if you're coming this year. Overall, great year. Highly recommend it. I appreciate you watching to the end. Let me know what house you're most excited for in the comments. And I'll see you in the next video, which is trying every single Halloween Horror Nights food. Can't wait for that. See ya.